Hello everyone, I go by theAbeyantHero. Some of you may know me for my cosplaying or my YouTube videos, or you may have met me in person in one of the anime conventions that I visited from pretty much coast to coast now. I've done this for the past 5 years, and I do think it's important to look back and remember why it is that you keep doing what you're doing. And as such, I wanted to share with you something of a bit of my origin story. And I feel it's important because of something that particularly affected me this past weekend. Back in the 4th grade, I'm sure you remember when Halloween was one of those things that you could look forward to for the festivities, the costuming, and everyone just getting really excited to be something that was an extension of their imagination. For myself, it was no different. The only thing was that my parents in particular didn't observe or really celebrate Halloween, and I never got a chance to really wear my costume that was store-bought as opposed to other kids. But I was not one to stray away from the fun. I kind of hid it from my parents, and I made my own costume, and I cut up a shirt and I designed it to be a sort of a pirate, because I was like, hey, that's something that I can make and I can be proud of, because it's like regular clothes, only slightly different. I was heavily inspired by Peter Pan. After changing into my costume, I walked in the classroom and everyone was dressed as mummies, as a vampire, as a superhero, everything typical that you would think of. And I was really proud and really happy to see the reactions of what people would say with my costume. And one kid walked up to me and he asked me what I was dressed as. And I proudly said, I'm a pirate. Then he followed up with, you're not a pirate, you're just poor. I went and looked to my friends who I thought were my friends, and the thing that hurt the most was the fact that they were laughing just right along with him. And it hurt. It hurt a lot, to the point where I was so ashamed of what I was dressed as, something that I worked on. And I ran to the bathroom and I just cried. I cried because it was one of those things that you can't really control. And as a little kid, you know, kids are cruel, man. And it's something that it just hurts, because not only is it out of your control, it's something that you worked hard on. And ever since then, Halloween was never the same. So I told myself that I wasn't gonna dress in costumes anymore, because I didn't want to feel bad, because it was something that I couldn't control. It wasn't something that I can work on, no matter how much I wanted to change. And so it wasn't until years later that, and I mean years later, until I could look at costuming and Halloween the same. And it wasn't until I went to college that my friends that I had made through Japanese Student Association brought me in and kind of changed my perspective and made me give a second chance at costuming. They invited me to a fall Japanese festival called Akimatsuri, and I'll never forget it, because it changed my life. It changed my perspective on things, and they told me that, yeah, people who are in college, just like you, adults, wear costumes, and they went around proudly. It was something that they could enjoy. And I felt it was long enough to get over my past demons. And so I wore my costume that I had help with. I can say that she's definitely another mother figure of mine. One of my best friend's moms helped me out, and I was able to dress as Rock Lee from Naruto. And ever since then, there was no looking back. A few months following after Akimatsuri, a number of friends, some key pivotal people in my life, convinced me to take on having a pseudonym or kind of like an internet handle for making a cosplay public page. I also wanted something that could be an outlet for me to practice my skills that I was learning from film school. And so I made my YouTube channel, originally theAbeyantHero. Some might say that theAbeyantHero is really hard to say or to spell, for that matter, and I gave it some serious thought. Originally, I wanted to convey something that I really cared for, and I really cared for Legend of Zelda because those games affected me so much to where I wanted to take on life's adventures, to where everything was open to me at any given time. And I thought, how does Link start out his journey? Starts out a lot of his journey asleep. And as such, I thought, well, he's the asleep hero or whatnot. And so I thought, asleep hero, that sounds weird. I looked in a thesaurus to look up the definition of something that was similar to asleep or dormant, and the word abeyant came across me. And so I thought, theAbeyantHero sounds suitable, but I gave it some extra thought. I slept on it. And for myself, abeyant means more than asleep or dormant. In a way, I looked at it as a dreaming hero, and an extension of that, in your dreams, you have no limitations. You can be as great as you want to be in your dreams. Or you have full power, you have full control of your destiny. And so I thought, yeah, I should be theAbeyantHero. And so ever since then, that's what I've gone by. This past weekend was Vidcon, and when I initially decided to go to Vidcon, I wanted to embrace the idea of taking on adventures and challenges that were out of my comfort zone. I noticed that everyone was wildly diverse when it came to what they were interested in. Naturally, I was nervous and I had my reservations. I came equipped with things to hopefully counter those feelings of reluctancy, and I intended to do that and bridge that gap with cosplay, something that meant a lot to me and I wanted to share with the world. Now, mind you, I have done a lot of anime cosplays up until that point, and I was really excited to debut something that I worked really hard on, something that meant a lot to me when I was a kid, and that it was in particular Toy Story. Toy Story was something that I felt could universally translate to a number of people. It's looking at over 20 years of content that's been released, and something that would definitely reach a lot of people on a more basic level. And so I dressed as Woody the second day, and I was really excited. My intentions were to film something that was more wholesome, something that was comedic, and something that was engaging. I had the intention of going into cosplaying as Woody, and yes, I was greeted with some awesome positivity from the get-go. There were people that were saying, "Hey, it's Woody," when I was skating over to the cosplay contest. There were literally security guards and everything that were saying, "Hey, it's Woody! Hey, Woody, how you doing?" And that got me really excited, you know. And I said all the catchphrases that I could remember off the top of my head. As the day progressed, I slowly started seeing chinks in the armor, which was my cosplay as Woody. And over time, when I was filming and I was going to different locations, or even going so much as eating, I started seeing people just treat me less of a human and start treating me more like I'm a party favor or some dancing monkey that would bend at their every beck and call. I've got a tough skin, I'll tell you this much, but it starts to get to you when people start to snicker or have a negative body language just because I can't appease them, like the internet meme, and like in the movie, he falls down because he's supposed to be a toy that doesn't have life. Every single time that I had to turn people down when they said, hey, Andy's coming. And of course, I want to play up the character, but I felt bad every time that they snickered at me. It comes to when I'm eating and I'm still getting pestered. One such incident was when I was eating alone on a bench and completely secluded from most people in the public eye. And I felt really uncomfortable when apparently this internet famous guy had his group of fans just slowly inch their way towards me. At a certain point they did notice because, I was, saying that, hey, I'm here, I'm trying to eat. One person after another, they started flirting, and it was something that I shouldn't ever see, and it made me feel really uncomfortable when a girl jumped onto him and basically straddled him. Even after all of that negative interaction, I was willing to brush it off and give everyone a clean slate. When it came down to a particular doodle wall, and if you guys aren't familiar with it, basically at a convention they have a free open canvas where you can draw whatever you want. I drew a little icon of myself, and I was celebrating the fact that my unique interest was towards anime. I went back to check on it, and I was met with it being scribbled out, and profanity and everything else that you can think of, negative, drawing and otherwise, was on it. And one thing that stuck out to me was weirdo, and a few other colorful words. That affected me the most, because not only did that deface something that I worked on, not different from my costuming, but something that means a lot to me. For me, anime means hope. And it might sound super cheesy, but for me, anime means hope. And I say that because, for me in particular, it made me feel comfortable and confident enough because I had enough love for a character that represented me. What it means to me is that someone is willing to take the time to make someone feel less of a person and feel unwanted and unaccepted in normal society just because of something that they like. And that's not something that I'm willing to stand for. For me, cosplay and anime are something that I hold dear. And I don't ever want anyone to go through the feelings that I went through. Of feeling ridiculed, of feeling isolated, of feeling of lesser than a person. Because you shouldn't. You should always feel accepted and proud of who you are and what you like. Because at the end of the day, that's what makes you unique. That's what makes you wonderful. And the diversity that we all have, that makes the world go round. That's something that I feel wholly and down to my core so passionate for. And as a YouTuber, as someone who's creatively and extrovertly expressive, every little bit of work that I do makes a positive impact and makes everyone feel, hey, I can relate to this guy. I will make sure and offer my services as best as I can to make sure that you know that you have someone out there who cares about you and wants to make sure that you're acknowledged. Because for those few people that helped me, I want to give back tenfold. For those people who inspire me to chase my dreams and make me feel that I am accepted, I want to give that back to you. Because if there's anything that I can leave behind, it's that. It's that positive expression of creativity and making sure everyone feels embraced and feels that positive light. Because in a world full of negativity, that's what we need. We need to look after each other. We are the way that we are. And we should have open dialogue for understanding and lending that hand of friendship. That's something that anime has taught me, and something that I want to convey the importance of. And I'm sorry that for those people that I let down and may have upset. I truly wish I could spend more time and engage with you, but sadly you stormed off before I could even get a chance to talk to you and let you know who I am as a person. But I'll never stop there. And I'm not saying that all people at Vidcon were rough to me. There were some very positive people out there. Some off the top of my head: Andrew, who helped me out at the Hot Wheels track, helped me film. Valerie, you were so nice and kind and willing to talk to me from the Nickelodeon booth. Even though I wasn't able to film something there, you were very responsible. And those M&M guys who were willing to let me goof off on their stage and play off in character. Thank you. There are good people out there, and some people just need a second chance. When it comes to the second part of the name that I chose, theAbeyantHero, the word hero means something more to me than the topical idea of hero. For me, I look at it as a responsibility, as someone who is willing to face the fears of my past and also face the challenges of tomorrow. Not only for myself, for that younger self that felt the fear and felt the anxiety and felt ridiculed and alone, but also for representing the hero to others. I hope that I can act as a hero for others, not for selfish reasons, but to give back in a way that I was blessed, to be inspired to chase my own dreams. For those people, I give thanks, and I want to make sure that I'm creating that environment for those who might feel like I did back when I was in the 4th grade. I will work 110% on every bit of effort, plus ultra. Yes, I'm referencing My Hero Academia. It's a great anime. And as such, I'm also recalling back a song that I heard on the way to Vidcon. That one was from the cartoon Hercules. Yes, it's a Disney. And the song is I Will Go the Distance. And in the lyrics, I've often dreamed of a far off place where the crowd will be cheering. With a great warm welcome, they'll be cheering for me. And in that idea, I believe wholly that yes, I want to be that hero, but I won't be there alone. In my vision, I want everyone to feel like they can be their own hero. To the left and right of me will be everyone who is going to be a hero to their own group of people. Yes, you are accepted, you are wanted, and we are willing to bridge that gap to where you feel like you belong. And on that note, I say, happy cosplaying and keep on dancing. I'm theAbeyantHero.